chop, chop. I got dinner apparently at 6 p.m. I'm like, we're not even that old. Who makes dinner at 6 p.m.? Is there like a cocktail hour before, or you're going to make me eat like an old person?
And Brett is not going to this. He doesn't want to force feed himself a steak at 6 o'clock. Is that what this is?
I don't know. He just doesn't do social events. I think he just doesn't like hanging out with me.
I can see that. I mean, you're a lot. You are a lot in a group dinner setting. You're a lot. Can you admit that?
What does that mean? What does a lot mean?
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of conversations. A lot of it's very inappropriate. Some of it's
inappropriate.
Semi-political.
Listen.
I think
religion and politics are very appropriate dinner talk. When you're amongst friends, that's how you grow. That's how you engage. That's how you know, like, people. For example, my neighbor and I have very different political opinions, according to her. And I'm like, no, Sarah, we have like a lot of similar opinions. I think we just don't talk about it because you assume that I'm so much different than you. And so one night, sitting down on our couch, drinking wine, like, we just went through everything, and like, we're a lot better friends now because she doesn't think that I'm like some raging left-wing or right-wing lunatic. And I knew she wasn't some raging left-wing lunatic, because even though she convinces herself she is, she's not. Like, that's the joke. So like,
but here's a problem. But this is what you're missing. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with what you did on the couch that night with your friend.
Oh, I shouldn't do it.
I've been at restaurants with you. No, I've been at restaurants with you where like the other tables also have to listen to it. That's different. Like, if you want to argue with me, I don't give a shit. I've known you forever. Say whatever you want. But other people are having to listen to you.
I wouldn't say it's arguing. I just think it's like alcohol. You're talking, and people like, somebody takes your side and then somebody else takes the other person's side. Like, I think I love a good, healthy debate.
Is that why
I'm very philosophical. Remember, I'm a Sagittarius.
You're so good on social media because you actually like engage with these weirdos. Whereas me, when people have basically stopped trolling me on Twitter because I just don't give a shit and I don't respond. I don't care at all. So, but that doesn't help me build my following. You're good at it because you get right back into it. You're going back and forth with these weirdos. And I think it helps you. It helps your engagement, man.
Bravo. Listen, engagement's not the problem. It's just that I think sometimes I should not punch down.
Where are you on a meme coin? Do you want to do a meme coin?
I'm not going to do a meme coin.
Meme coin. Why not? Melania. I heard Melania Trump, First Lady.
Well, Chris and I did have some Vivas on Sunday and decided to buy the Melania coin. And it took me an hour because I didn't own any Solana. And it took this whole thing. And then by the time all of it transferred to some made up wallet I've never even heard of, it was like half price. And I was like, okay. And then we lost. Let's look and see how much we've lost, because it's not good. And so anyway, I think I'm done with meme coins. I think I should have never started with meme coins. We have $233 left, and we bought in for a dime.
Well, that was a good use of money. That's pretty.
Listen, we felt like we missed out on the Trump coin because we were asleep, right?
Yeah.
I had all these people on the West Coast make all this money on the Trump coin. And I was like, by God, Melania coin just launched. Let's go. And listen, it's kind of like,
do you think this is like
bad number? We laid a bad number on the Melania coin.
Do you think the crypto community is sexist or chauvinistic? They dump the Melania coin. I think the crypto
community is a bunch of fucking degenerates, and they just buy random things named Fart Coin or Hawk Tua Coin or any other ridiculous thing, and then they get mad when they get rug pulled. I'm just glad that the weird wallet wouldn't let me use Apple Pay to do it, and I had to go like sell some Coinbase, this and that, and it was like jumping through hoops. It saved me and Chris at least 2 dimes each, at the very least. So I thank them for.
Weren't you a fan of the Hawk Tua girl, or was that me? One of us was a fan of hers.
That was you.
One of us, that was me. And then Louis, our producer,
loves her.
He was sweet on her, no? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah, he
she.
loved the
Yeah,
hot
you're
tuna.
right. It was me. I thought
What
she was
happened to her?
endearing.
Is she
Well,
still around?
No, didn't she rug pull a bunch of idiots out of their money?
Yeah, but that's what every single one of these people does. I don't know who rug pulled the Trump coin, but somebody did that too.
So do you think Trump should get in trouble? I can see our producer saying she seems like a very nice lady. That's the Hawk Tua girl.
Listen, I don't know. If you're buying things called Hawk Tua coin, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, listen,
Can I say, and then before we go to the weekend recap, I want to say I think the Hawk Tua girl could do a lot worse than Louis. I think that would be a step up for her. I think Louis, in my opinion, Louis would be punching down in that relationship.
I've got someone for Louis, but first we got to get him a new job because there can't be any fraternizing at the company. So I got to get him a new job, and then I've got someone I'm going to hook him up with.
Yeah. Let's talk about the weekend. There was 4 NFL games. Guys, so it just goes on forever, doesn't it? So there's 4 NFL games and then
3
the national championship game. So here's something I see a lot of on X, formerly Twitter, where you're well followed. It's like when the games land a certain way, you've got these weirdos on social media saying that Vegas.
Is this an Ariel Epstein? Is this an Ariel Epstein jab?
That we fixed the game is what they're saying. Like
did you call?
You're aware that
tell him to get an intentional safety. Hey Patrick, we're gonna.
Are you aware that Kansas City winning by 9 was our worst possible outcome for that game?
You guys
there was no number worse than 9. So no, we did not call in to get ourselves middled. Whoa, who would we even call? Is there like some sort of a phone on the sideline there?
Have you ever seen,
we did not call in and say, hey,
it's like the old guy.
You guys miss a chip shot field goal, and then after that, say that again?
No, I've seen the meme. Tommy Lorenzo uses it all the time when a game lands like that. It's like the old guy. He's calling from the Hilton Sportsbook. That's now called the Westgate SuperBook, but it's the old one, and it's the little old Italian guy. He's calling the NFL, telling him how
that's from the movie.
Yeah.
First of all, that's from the movie Casino. That's from Casino.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, we did not call in. We did not call in to get ourselves middled on the first playoff game of the weekend. And first you had I think it was a blocked field goal and then a intentional safety to land 9. Not great. Not good for us. Now, the second game was terrific for us. The Commanders beat the Lions outright. We did awesome on that game. I think that was your best bet, no?
It was. And it was not enough on the money line, but that's okay. It was my best bet. And I sprinkled a little bit. I wish I would have just, I don't know. I kind of feel like I kind of pussed out because I'm like, the Commanders are not going to win this game. I said all week they're not going to win this game. And then they win the game very easily, actually.
Yeah, you know what? You know what was interesting about that game? We did very well in that game. Very well. It saved our whole weekend.
Well, because you guys put the money line so high, right? Is that where you because the Commanders went outright?
No, well, yeah, obviously the money line parlays, the teasers. But the one thing I did notice that was interesting about it was we've added so many betting options to the menu for like the playoff games, non-Super Bowl games. We've got so many more props now than we've ever had before that for the first time, it was like, wow, that was 45-31. That costs us a lot of money that we have all these props now, like a mini Super Bowl. There was so much scoring. There were so many touchdowns. So many players went over their yardage that when I got the final numbers, I was actually over at Allegiant Stadium at the Inter Miami game. I saw Lionel Messi score a goal, no biggie.
Yeah.
And I got the final numbers, and I was like, wow, like I thought we were going to win a lot more than that. And it was because it was so high scoring that, obviously you want to take more markets in the long run. That's going to be better for you because you're going to write more bets. But the really high scoring game there costs us a little bit. So we go to Sunday morning. Kelly had me on last call very inappropriately named show, like 3 hours before kickoff. Right.
The first college basketball game had already tipped off. Of course, you come in and you're like, oh, yeah, Illinois. And I'm like, I go to bed and I'm like, it already started. So I actually need to move the show earlier so that my audience doesn't miss out on anything.
So we do the show, and then I settled in to watch the Ram game. And then again, same thing as the Chiefs game. 6 was the worst number.
Yeah.
Eagles won by exactly 6. The game went over. That was the worst number for us. And then the late game, not much to say about the outcome there. There was a lot of money both ways. I know I'm going to give you the form to rant. You had a Ravens future. Do you want to?
No, I did.
Bitch,
You can't turn the ball over 3 times and expect to win the football game.
Right.
You just can't. I mean, I know that Ariel just posted a thread about Mark Andrews. Like, Lamar Jackson needs to take some of that blame. No, Zay Flowers was not helpful. There were, Derrick Henry had a couple of moments, but really, I didn't think he was that impressive in the game. I think the problem is with Mark is that he's what you remember last, right? The Ravens come back and all he had to do was catch the 2-point conversion. Then it goes to overtime. That's kind of where
he did also fumble though, Kelly. He also fumbled on.
That's right. He did
previous drive.
That's right.
So he did. But I think my biggest takeaway from that game. Well, yeah, I agree with you. It's amazing that Lamar Jackson gets no criticism at all. This guy's about to be a 3-time league MVP.
Lamar looked like dog shit.
He turned the ball over twice in the first half. So he deserves at least some of the blame. I understand why Andrews is getting a lot of the blame. He deserves it, by the way. But what I took away from that game was there's really not much at all separating Buffalo, Baltimore, and Kansas City. Those 3 teams, they're all right there with each other. It's just a question of who's going to make a mistake. Baltimore turned the ball over 3 times, and they dropped the 2-point conversion. Last year, when Buffalo got knocked out, Stephon Diggs dropped that pass, that long sideline pass, and then the Bills kicker missed a field goal that should have tied the game. That's why they lost. That's why they got eliminated last year. So who's going to make the mistakes on Sunday? That's the question. Allen barely threw the ball on Sunday in that game.
His stat line was like, wait, how did they win that game?
Well, how did they win that game? Because he didn't turn the ball over.
Exactly.
So Allen went 16 for 22. He scored 2 touchdowns on the ground, but he didn't turn the ball over. And Lamar Jackson turned it over twice in the first half. Andrews fumbles. That's why Baltimore lost the game. I still think Baltimore is the best team in the NFL, but they made the mistakes. They have nobody to blame but themselves. They turned the ball over 3 times. Buffalo did not. That's why it's Buffalo, Kansas City this week. And that's what it's going to come down to on Sundays. Who's going to turn the ball over? Who's going to turn the ball?
Josh has really cleaned up the interceptions this year. And inversely, Patrick, for a better part of the regular season, was turning the ball over more than he was throwing touchdown passes. So I guess we'll see. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's a coin flip. I think I'm going to tease Buffalo because that's the easy cop-out to do. I already have them in one teaser with the leg closed because I
tease them to what?
I teased him with Ohio State as soon as the line came out. Oops, not supposed to do that, but it worked out.
Let's go. So we can't recap the weekend without talking about Monday night. And we talk about Kansas City wins by 9. Philadelphia wins by 6. Guess what would have been the worst number for the game Monday night? 8, obviously, right? So we actually never went below 8. There were some books that got all the way down to 7.5 at the end. And then we also had an extremely favorable futures position on the Buckeyes. So if the Buckeyes had won by 8, yes, it would have been bad for us, but it wouldn't have been like a disaster how it would have been for a lot of books, I assume, because I saw some books go to 7.5 at the end. Either way, we were pretty happy to see Ohio State kick that field goal. So Ohio State kicks a field goal. They win by 11. The book did well on futures. KellyInVegas was right all along. She said Ohio State was the best team in the country. They were, and they won the national championship. So go ahead, Kelly. Take your victory lap.
No, my bankroll got the victory lap. It's been a really good couple of weeks, and I'm just sitting back, smiling. Finally, maybe I can go shopping before the Super Bowl. Maybe I can buy groceries, buy a new car. Finally, I've been waiting to buy a new car for a while. It's been a couple of weeks.
I think you should definitely go buy new groceries or go shopping instead of investing into another meme coin when you're
Listen,
drunk
I
with Chris
bought
Thurston.
plenty of
That would be the last
XRP
thing.
over the last month
Yeah.
with some of my winnings. And
Good.
I haven't had a car since I sold it to my mom forever. So I should probably go do that. But that would require me to need a car.
XRP is slowly creeping up though, kid.
Yeah, but it wasn't very good
better.
today. Today it was like $3 and some change. I needed like $10, and we're in business. $3.11. Didn't Trump just sign some crypto thing? Isn't that supposed to be to our betterment? Anyway, before we get into the rest,
put in the long game, kid. Put in the long game.
Okay, so get this. We got a tweet before the show. Ariel Epstein asked me, "Can you do a video on this?" I said, "No, not going to do a TikTok on this." Yes, she's in charge of all my content now. She's been doing a really great job during the off season. But it said, breaking: Donald Trump Jr. advised the company Kalshi to launch legal sports betting in all 50 states with no house edge. So my question was going to be to you: A, how do they make money if there's no house edge? And B, how do they get around gaming? Is it because they're not taking a VIG? And then already, since the show has been on for 16 minutes, our producer Louis says sports trading is now live on Kalshi, available in all 50 states. No house, trade directly with other users in an open market. Live trading during the game with no locked lines. You can cash out at any time. No bans or restrictions for winner. The golden age of markets is here. Holy shit.
Wow. Well, that'll be interesting. I mean, so they're going to try to just, if I understood that correctly, and I was kind of looking at something, but if I understood what you were saying, they're just going to try to make money on sheer volume. Right?
But if they're not taking a house edge, like if you're not taking a percentage.
I don't know enough about the website. Is it something where they're going to make money by driving traffic to a website? Is that what it is? I don't know a whole lot about it.
I don't either. I know that they were doing a lot of stuff with the betting markets. Remember back in October, November, and I had talked to those guys about doing some stuff with them. Yeah, with the election. But the problem was they couldn't get it going fast enough. And instead of hiring me, a sports betting girl, they hired a bunch of political people, obviously, to talk about it because it kind of made more sense. But now that they have sports betting, I'm like, oh,
how is that? But how is that legal? How is that legal?
That's why I was asking you.
Or is it a betting exchange? I don't really know enough about it, I guess.
I have no idea. I'm going to sign up for an account.
Well, can I say it sounds like a better strategy than the current strategy, which is just give people money to bet with, and then they use all their money to parlay NFL games, and all the NFL favorites win and you lose. That's what the other sportsbook operators are doing. I think the
tables have turned a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the tables have turned a little bit. No? Maybe?
Say that again.
So I think the tables have turned a little bit. No? Have we felt the tide turning? Like maybe we can get this weekend.
Oh, no. January's been fine. I'm talking about like macro level. The way that these companies spend a lot of money on customer acquisition. And I know that, I guess that the end game is to put them all into iGaming, and then they'll just bleed everybody to death. Is that basically the final move there? But for now, it's tough to make money when most of your handle is just money you give the players to bet with. It's tough to do well.
Well, there's that. I think the other thing is that we've kind of discussed this before. A lot of these companies are really just marketing companies.
Well, yeah. Not really. They are. They're marketing. They're branding companies. I could say that about companies here in Nevada. It's just more of a branding play than anything else, just getting their name out there. So yeah. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know. I got to research this. What's this website called?
Kalshi.
Kalshi, like Game of Thrones?
Kalshi. So look, get
and you're
this.
telling me that.
Hold
on a second.
Okay.
Ariel Epstein is running your social media accounts?
No. So Ariel has some downtime until baseball season. Anyway, we were kind of talking about like, you have to adapt or die, right? And I was like, yes, they banned TikTok. And then I realized how good Kelly and Murray and WagerTalk does on TikTok. I just suck on TikTok. So I'm like, Ariel, we've got to get better. And I also realized that certain things on my TikTok go crazy. Just very basic, dumb things. Me criticizing the SEC, Clay and I doing a show and we talk about somebody's tits. That's what we did today. We talked about Lauren Sanchez and how she should probably not have worn that to the inauguration. Listen, nice girl from Kansas.
She wore the Sue Ellen. She wore the Sue Ellen Mishke.
Do you think her outfit was appropriate? Is what we talked about. Do you think it was appropriate, John Murray, for an inauguration?
I'm impressed. Can I say that this is going to make me sound bad, but I don't care. I'm impressed that a woman her age landed a guy who's worth like $300 billion. Good for her. All right, right?
I'll have to keep that one in the back tank. I should probably hit the gym a little bit more if I want to land a bazillionaire.
You've already got Brett. You can't be going out there billionaire surfing. What's the matter with you, kid?
I'm joking. No. All I'm saying is
that was not an appropriate outfit. No.
She's very hot, but that's like what I would wear to a Vegas steakhouse, not to an inauguration. Right. I wouldn't wear that to a wedding.
Wear a bra under the blazer to a Vegas steakhouse.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
John Murray.
Yeah, that's me. Okay.
Listen, you need to get out more. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I've worn something like that to Edge. I'm pretty sure I wore a black bra with a black blazer with a black pair of pants when I went to Edge last. Anyway, it is what it is. I guess my point is that Clay finds these like viral things and it goes nuts, right? So Ariel said she was going to tweet about Mark Andrews. And then she sent me the Kalishi thing. It's like, hey, you should do a video on this. And I was like, well, I don't know enough about it to speak from an educated standpoint. Right. And I was like, about to do the show with John Murray. I'll bring it up there. And in fact, you don't know enough about it to give me an educated standpoint. But
no, I don't. Unfortunately, I wish I did. I don't know much about that. Yep. I want to learn more though. I remember reading the articles about people like exchanging bets on it during the election.
Yeah.
Or not the articles about it, but I saw tweets about it, I should say. And I should know more about it. I don't really understand how it's legal though. That's what I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't either. And I mean, like, look, you can bet on or against crypto, right? Like will there be a Bitcoin reserve this year? Like there's all sort. When will Bitcoin hit 150,000 before or after 2026? Does that mean you have to lock up your money? I don't even like locking up my money until March.
But who's regulating it? And who's it regulated by?
I don't know.
That's just interesting. I don't know. Let's do some digging. Kelly wins a national championship. Me and the guys were at Naked City Pizza Monday night. That was a lot of fun. Our other producer, John Hoagland, they call him the Unit. He was there.
Oh, was he? Is that why he took 3 days to do my big game contest video I sent him? Was he a little hungover from Naked City?
No, I don't think so. I mean, John's a young man. He's not going to be hungover.
Okay.
He was good. We had a good time. And now we're ready to turn the page to the penultimate week of football, the conference championship week.
Should we talk about the big game contest before?
Sure. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to do it?
I saw you do a video about it on Twitter. You probably know more about it than I do.
Oh, you're supposed to be the VP. What? You're the worst.
Well, what do you want me to say? It's you already did a video. You're the marketing person. You should know more about it than I do. Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me know that you wanted to talk about this. Because I got nothing to do. I got to pick up the rules of the.
No, I got it. So here's what it is. So between now, which was already like Saturday, but John Hoagland was hungover, so he didn't do my video. He went to Naked City. You're gonna pick 30 prop bets. You guys are gonna have a sheet, 30 bets, and the winner gets all the money. It's $100. Sign up.
What's the buy?
$100. You can sign up until Super Bowl Sunday, I think at 2:00.
Yeah, I know we do shut off the picks like a little bit before the game. We wouldn't want people frantically trying to put that in right at kickoff.
Right.
So, nice call out, Kelly, the big game prop contest. You can't say Super Bowl.
No, of course not.
You still got to say big game. Can we say Super Bowl on this show?
I can say whatever I want on the show. That's the beauty of it.
Because
you guys, who picks those props? I want to know. I need some like insight here. Like, what are we talking about?
I think it's
like Patrick Mahomes over passing yards.
Yeah. I think Ray consults with Ed Salmons on it. I think they go like Ray picks them, but I'm pretty sure Ed helps him out a little bit. Okay. But I'd have to ask both of them.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, I do a show. I do the show with
advantageous is
Mariah
just take all
Janos,
the unders.
and I do the show where you can't say team nicknames or Super Bowl or any of that stuff. It's
Who
very,
sponsors it?
it's like something with the, I don't, I'm a show pony. They just trot me out there. I say my lines. I don't know much about it. It's called Beat the Odds.
That's
But you can't
odd.
say like Eagles, or you can't say Super Bowl.
Eagles.
You can't say NFL. No, you can't say the team nicknames. So you got to say Philadelphia or Kansas City. It's tough. It's tough for somebody like me, minimal training in the media. I don't know what I'm doing, obviously.
Okay. All right. Noted.
Can we go to the conference championship games, or do you have any other curveballs you want to throw at me?
Nope. Tell me what you need. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's the opposite of both the teams that I like.
Well, we did see – so we saw a really respected play come in on the 20th, which I believe was Monday, on Philadelphia. Philadelphia minus 5.5. So that's what moved us up to 6.5.
Wait,
Right
you guys
now
didn't even
we
go
are
to
at
6
Eagles.
with the rest of the market. You just went straight to 6.5.
There's a respected player. Now, most of the bets we've taken are on the Commanders, especially on the money line, where it's very one-sided, the Commanders. But you got to remember here, we're dealing with a few different variables. This guy, probably our most respected NFL bettor. He's the guy that had the Commanders last Saturday when they won in Detroit. He's the guy that had the Commanders the week before when they won in Tampa Bay. This guy, he also is the guy that had Kelly's Broncos against Buffalo, but nobody can win them all. But we're got to be positioned on his side. Plus, you got to remember our lead bookmaker, Ed Salmons, is just an unapologetic, shameless Philadelphia homer. I mean, he should be embarrassed at what a homer he is. So, of course, he's trying to write money against his beloved Eagles, right? So there's that as well.
Okay. I like the commies. Shocker. I like the team playing with house money, having fun, rookie quarterback, all of the things. I think the Eagles got really lucky to get away from the Rams and get the push last week, depending on when you bet them. And frankly, I watched that Packers game. The Packers looked like awful dog shit. But even there was a set point in the second half where I was like, are the Eagles going to let them hang around? And they didn't. Yeah. But I had some concerns about it. The AFC game is really interesting. I got a text from a friend that told me that I can't ever say this without laughing. I've done too many shows and said it today. I have Chiefs derangement syndrome is what he said.
Well, can't you, is this okay to say? I mean, is this going to offend people? Like, I know I've got some great friends that are Kansas City fans. Like, obviously you're very close with Andy Samuelson. He's a great guy. He's a big Chiefs fan.
I wouldn't even meet up with me after the KU game. I'm like, Andy, come to the tailgate.
His phone died. What is he supposed to do? His phone's dead. So Andy Samuelson, my buddy Jackson, he's in Wichita as well. Dylan, they're big Chiefs fans. But who the hell wants to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again? Like, I don't want to see Kansas City again.
They're the only ones.
Well, other than their own fan base. No, of course I understand that they are, but like, isn't everybody else in the country rooting for the Bills? Like the Bills have this awesome fan base that would swarm down in New Orleans, and like Josh Allen's probably the most fun guy in the league to watch.
Imagine me being stuck in New Orleans with Bills Mafia?
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, the Bills.
Oh my God, oh my God, my liver is never going to recover.
Having said that, I think Kansas City's probably going to win. I just have a feeling about it. I see the way the game's being bet. We opened it 1.5. The money came in on Buffalo right away, but it's just gradually been pushing back up. Now Kansas City's a 2-point favorite. I understand that all the talk this week is going to be about the officials.
I was just getting ready to ask you, how do you quantify the refs?
Well, I don't quantify them. But here's what I do think. If I'm Buffalo, and I'm going to say this as nicely as I can. If I'm Buffalo, you've got to take one of your guys and lay Mahomes out. When he starts doing that, yes.
You did not just say that Kansas City fans are going to come after.
I don't care. No, I'm not saying on a basic play. I'm saying when he's doing that dancing thing, will I go out of bounds? Am I going to go down? That thing where Mahomes is so smart. He's found this loophole in the rules where he'll run to the sidelines and I think I'm going to go out of bounds. No, I'm not. And then there's a flag on the other team. They're going to throw a flag on you anyway. So you got to lay him out. You got to do it. It's their only hope, because I'm not saying I want Mahomes to get hurt. I definitely don't, but it'll stop him from doing that the rest of the game. Because right now he's found, like I said, it's like a loophole where he just sort of dances around. And if you tackle him, you get a penalty. And if you don't, he runs right past you. So what do you do to stop him from doing that? I think you gotta deck him is what you gotta do. It's a football game.
There was a flag thrown. I don't remember what week it was, but I had a friend say something similar, and I was like, "Oh, don't tweet that," because that is the reality. If they're going to throw a roughing the passer, you might as well make it worthwhile, because they're going to throw it on you regardless.
I don't want to see.
He's like Tom Brady. They wrap him in bubble wrap. You're not allowed to touch him.
It's not about injuring the guy. It's about sending a message to him. If I know you didn't. I'm saying I'm clarifying my point. It's not about injuring Pat Mahomes. That would suck. I want to see Mahomes and Allen play each other. It's about sending a message to him. If you're going to do this thing where you pretend you're going out of bounds, or you're pretending you're about to slide, you are going to get laid out. And then I don't think he'll do it again. I that's what I believe. And I think it's worth the 15 yards to stop him from doing that. Because the guy is just he's such a great player to begin with. He's also a really smart player. And he's taking advantage of the rules, taking advantage a little bit of his own position, where now, let's face it, Patrick Mahomes is Tom Brady, and the Kansas City Chiefs are the New England Patriots. And he's smart enough to recognize that. And I believe he's taking advantage of the situation. That would be my opinion.
Very fair opinion. I would agree with you there. Okay. Should we do the mailbag? You got anything else for me?
But it's going to be, look, last thought on that game. That game is going to be won by whoever doesn't mess up. That's who's going to turn the ball over. And Kansas City is so well coached. They always make the plays when they need to. And that's why I think they're going to win. But Kansas City Chiefs fans are a bunch of spoiled babies, if you ask me, Kelly. I mean, I had lunch today with our director of front desk or hotel operations. She's from Buffalo, and she told me she was thinking about flying to go to Kansas City to this game because the tickets are only like $225. It's an AFC Championship game. It's like $225. The Chiefs fans just take it for granted that they're there every year now.
Well,
I guess they're just waiting for the Super Bowl.
Here's the problem.
That's embarrassing.
If you're a Chiefs fan and you do not have a childhood picture of you in Kansas City gear, I think you're fraudulent. Aunt Helen and I got in a huge fight about this. Well, it was very one-sided on Sunday when we were in New York City for the K-State game. And I told her, I said, I don't want to hear shit from you. You never took me to a Chiefs game. You took me to all of these other sporting events, and we never went to a Chiefs game. Please spare me that you're somehow a Chiefs fan by regional bias because they just keep winning. My damn sister a couple of years ago, same shit. I'm like, bitch, do you know why I'm a Broncos fan? Because you married a guy from Denver. And you guys took me to see John Elway and Shannon Sharp and Champ Bailey and all these Denver players I loved over the years. And now I'm saying everybody, and I hate it. If you cannot provide a photo of you under the age of 12 wearing Chiefs gear, I don't want to hear about your back-to-back Super Bowl predictions.
Well, you know, I was a student at Gonzaga College High School in Northwest Washington, D.C., and my senior year, so we had a lot of kids from Virginia and a lot of kids from Maryland in that high school. It was my senior year at Gonzaga that the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl. And I remember a lot of the Maryland kids realized, hey, I'm from Maryland. I can be a Ravens fan. Because I'm pretty sure everybody was a Redskins fan freshman year. What? Do you want to do the mailbag?
Yeah, let's do the mailbag. Of course, I expect that kind of behavior from children. They're bandwagony, not adults who have lived in Kansas off and on throughout their entire lives. And even my cousin Christopher called my sister out on her bullshit. He goes, I grew up in Kansas City. I was a Chiefs fan. He goes, let me ask my sister if she can find a picture. And I told my sister I would give her $10,000 if she could find a picture of her in Chiefs gear before she married her husband. She could not do it. All right. Wise Guy Wager on X says 7.
We found a picture of hold on. We found a picture of Andy Samuelson in Raiders gear as a little child. Like, I'm talking too young to dress himself little, but there are pictures floating around of him in Raiders gear. Raiders. Okay, mailbag.
That is, see, you're never going to find anything. You're going to see me in Denver Broncos gear. I have a little bit of Ravens gear from going to the game with Ariel, and I have some Bucks gear just because I live in Tampa now. But outside of that, just spare me. And I even wore Bucks stuff to the Denver Broncos game. The Denver actually somehow won that game outright. 7 NFL head coaching positions are open with the Bears and Patriots now being filled. Which job do you think is the easiest situation to turn around?
What are the other openings? Raiders is one, right? That's extremely hard. I think I never understood why Ben Johnson would want to go to the Raiders. That was a rigged rumor out here in Las Vegas. Look at that division. You've got.
Why would he want to go to the Bears?
When you're looking at franchises, always look at coach, quarterback. Here's your division: Reed, Mahomes, good luck. Harbaugh, Herbert, good luck. Sean Payton's won a Super Bowl, and Bo Nix had a great rookie season. Good luck in the AFC West. You are in a lot of trouble. The Bears at least have a quarterback that they believe they can build around. But Kelly is such
a good one, John Murray.
Hard on for Caleb Williams.
That was a good one. The Jets even have a new head coach, so that's another one that's already been filled. Look, I don't know. This is where it gets these.
What are the other ones? I think that, to me, the easiest job to turn around. I don't even know if it answers this guy's question, but the team that's positioned the best has got to be the
Dallas
Patriots,
Cowboys, the Jaguars. There's only 4 left because there was 7.
Well,
the Jets
Patriots,
the Patriots and the Bears.
The Patriots actually have a quarterback, and I don't think their division is anywhere near as tough as what Chicago is going to have to deal with in the NFC North. You know, the Jets are a mess. Miami, borderline a mess. Buffalo's a house of cards. Without Josh Allen, Buffalo is one of the worst teams in the NFL. They just have this one individual player that's so great. So I think there's room to maneuver in the AFC East. I believe they have a QB, but I don't like the Dallas job either. The Raiders job would be really hard.
What about the Saints job?
Titans
That's probably got to be the easiest.
Yeah, nobody cares about the Titans, right? So I guess Saints. You could say Saints because they have the easiest division.
Yes,
out of that group, I guess.
Thinking.
I could live with that. I could live with that answer.
All right. Christy G3131 on X says, has John Murray, not personally, but taken any baseball futures yet?
Is that a Billy Madison reference? Not me personally, but a guy I know. Or is that no?
I don't know. Christy's very funny, but I don't
know. I miss Chris Farley. I
think we all miss Chris Farley.
The Reds over. Oh man, I know.
I
like the Reds
over.
Yeah, Reds over 77.5, and I think maybe this year, because remember last year I bet the Indians over.
Yeah.
And my lovely co-host bet the division, but I didn't have a piece of that. So I just had. So this year I think I'll go Reds over and Reds division. Reds.
Ooh.
Tito Francona skipper there now. I only focus on Ohio baseball apparently.
So I just logged in to one of my accounts to bet baseball, and he only has Venezuelan baseball up right now. I guess I'll have to go see what the illegal shops have for baseball season. When did baseball season start? April?
End of March.
Okay.
March. Real sport.
I'll write that down. March. Keep in mind. All right. The Reds for John Murray. Let's see. Catholic _ victim. Okay. How do books account for relocated games when it comes to line changes?
Well, so that's a good question about, I don't know if he's asking about what do we do with the point spread or what do we do with the tickets themselves. So check your house rules. Actually, I don't know if it's a he or a she. I shouldn't have assumed gender. I'm sorry about that. Check your house rules. Find out if your ticket's action or not. Here at the SuperBook, it would be action. Action wherever played. Some books do refund those bets. As far as the line move, I mean, I think home field advantage is a little bit overrated to begin with, but the line will usually move a little bit depending on where the game's moved to. I mean, look at that Monday night game.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Moved too
Did
much.
it really impact the Rams much? The game?
No.
Yeah, and the Rams blew out the Vikings. So I don't think it's worth that much. I don't think it should be a big adjustment.
Okay, let's just use this as like a hypothetical then. So they were considering moving the Sugar Bowl, remember? Georgia and Notre Dame. They moved it one night, but they were considering actually moving it somewhere else. So like let's say it went from New Orleans to Atlanta. That would have given proximity to Georgia.
My guess is that the market would have overreacted to that, to be honest with you. I bet they would have overreacted to the game being in Atlanta, and there would have been a ton of Notre Dame fans there anyway. And I just am a big believer that that's overrated. I said that about Ohio State, Texas, and I think that's an overrated. To me, there's only a few stadiums where that really matters, and it's usually got something to do with weather.
Wow.
I mean, if it's an indoor stadium, does it really make a big difference if it's in New Orleans or Atlanta?
No.
Not in my opinion, no. Or if it's in LA or Arizona, no, not really. Now, if a team had to move from a dome and they were used to playing in a dome and then they had to go play at Buffalo or at Lambeau Field in January, then I think that there would be something to it.
Okay, TS Finky wants to know, would gaming, so I'm assuming it means Nevada gaming, ever allow books to take bets on the weather? That's interesting because it just snowed in Florida for the first time in like 50 years. What would you book that at?
Wait, it snowed in Florida?
Yeah. It's freezing here.
Climate?
I literally have a grandma blanket that my niece made me on my lap and fuzzy slippers on right now because that's how freaking cold it is. Look. I can't even get them on the screen because I'm not that flexible.
That sounds like climate change.
Yeah.
Are you concerned about that?
No, because it snowed in the 50s here and it snowed in the 1890s. So I think we were due.
Okay. That's climate change. So I hope not. I hope they don't allow us to take bets on that. I guess they could say like over under this degrees for the day. I don't know. It'd be tough because isn't the weather going to be a little bit different here in this part of the city than it is in that part of the city? So they'd have to designate one specific part of the city, right? That sounds too complicated.
It sounds very complicated. No. Actually, now that you break it down.
I hope not, because I can't imagine that the temperature is exactly the same in every corner of the city, right? So you'd have to figure out where exactly is the official one, and it sounds complicated.
It does. I have joked that I was going to be a meteorologist in my next life because nobody wants to kill the meteorologist when they're wrong. All right. At Patrick Keats, 16.
No matter how many times they're wrong, nobody cares. Sure. It's kind of like being on the news. You're wrong about everything and no one cares. Next question.
Patrick Keats, 16 on X, says he is in our Splash Sports 25,000 Kelly Murray Survivor. He has Buffalo and Washington left. So does one other guy. 6 people have to take Kansas City. 2 have to take Washington and 1 Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Who would you take and what kind of hedge would you do?
So he doesn't have Kansas City left, obviously, right?
Right. So I think he takes Buffalo and then, or no, I think he takes Washington, hopes they win, and then hopes Buffalo wins the Super Bowl.
It sounds like he needs to take Washington. I think he's got to take Washington this week and then hope the Bills beat the Commanders in the Super Bowl. Rematch of the 91 Super Bowl. Unless I'm reading that wrong. Buffalo and Washington left. So does someone else. 6 people have to. I think that's what I would do. Yeah. I think I would take Washington. Because then he would need Washington to beat Kansas City. So he's concerned that the guy – no, yeah, that's what I would do. I would take Washington.
Same.
Is
Take
Washington, but don't listen to me. Don't listen to me, buddy, because me and my brother did a brother entry. We lost the first weekend. The brothers were out right away.
Same. I had 5 entries. I had the Bucks or the Vikings in every single one. I logged in and I was like, what? I didn't make it to the next round. Oh, okay.
No, we were so proud of ourselves when we picked Houston in the first game and won. And but we didn't make it through the weekend. So don't listen to me.
Oh boy.
You don't want to know what I think.
Last question. Vince in PGH, our loyal listener, also has a refs question. Over, under, how many Chiefs first downs by penalty? How many Bills first downs and touchdowns will be negated by penalty? Ooh.
So I see the theme here, and other than the AFC Championship game 2 years ago when the Chiefs beat the Bengals in overtime, I can't recall a Chiefs playoff game that I really felt was swung by questionable calls. That game. I thought Kansas City had a very favorable whistle in the second half. They ended up winning the game. They won the Super Bowl 2 weeks later against the Eagles. But I'm not really looking at the refs that much. I do think it's just going to come down to who makes mistakes. And Buffalo made some critical mistakes last year in the game against Kansas City. And Kansas City just never seems to make mistakes. They never seem to make that mistake. Lamar Jackson fumbling the ball at midfield. I don't know if that interception Lamar threw in the first half was the receiver running the wrong way or if it was just a horrible throw. Either way, it was a mistake, and that's why Buffalo's in this game. Buffalo cannot make those kind of mistakes or they'll never be able to win this game. But if Kansas City's turning the ball over the way Baltimore did, you might see a Bills Super Bowl. So it's not about the refs, Vince. It's about who is careful with the pigskin on Sunday.
All right. John Murray, that's all I got. Thank you for your patience. And we'll see you on Sunday.
I'll talk to you later, kid.